Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. First call, former Pitt QB joins Bills before practices against Steelers, Martavis Bryant gets another workout. Tuesday's first call has news of a former Pitt Panther suiting up with the Buffalo Bills in advance of their joint practice with the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday. An NFC team is taking a second look at former Steeler Martavis Bryant. There is some health news surrounding Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. And the Steelers are looking to bolster the depth at edge rusher. Former Pitt Panther quarterback Ben DiNucci is coming back to Acrisure Stadium. The Pine Richland product is signing with the Buffalo Bills. The Steelers and Bills are hosting a joint practice on the North Shore on Thursday before squaring off for a game Saturday. Buffalo's Shane Buechele hurt his neck in Saturday's preseason game against the Chicago Bears, so they needed a replacement and picked up DiNucci. Josh Allen and former Steeler Mitch Trubisky are ahead of him on the depth chart. The Steelers worked out DiNucci just before training camp started. A 2016 graduate of Pine Richland High School, DiNucci spent the next 3 seasons as a Panther after initially committing to Penn. He appeared in 12 games and started 6. Eventually, DiNucci transferred to James Madison. There he started 29 games and got the Dukes to the FCS title game as a senior in 2019. He was then selected by the Cowboys in the 7th round of the 2020 draft. In Dallas, DiNucci played 3 games, starting 1. Most recently, the 27-year-old was with the practice squad of the Denver Broncos, working behind new Steelers QB Russell Wilson. He was waived in May. Before that, he led the XFL in passing yards, 2,671, and completions, 272, with the Seattle Sea Dragons in 2023. An NFC team is giving former Steelers receiver Martavis Bryant a second look. Bryant is set to work out for the Washington Commanders for a second time Tuesday. That's according to NFL insider Jordan Schultz. The 32-year-old also had a workout in D.C. back in May. There is a connection between Bryant and the Commanders. Ex-Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn is now the head coach in Washington. Bryant spent the 2023 season on the Dallas Cowboys practice squad. He spent the 4 previous years waiting for reinstatement after an indefinite suspension by Commissioner Roger Goodell. That was the result of several failed drug tests for marijuana. It's been since 2018 that we have seen Bryant in an NFL uniform. The 2014 draft pick out of Clemson was in Pittsburgh for his first 3 seasons, racking up 126 receptions for 1,917 yards and 17 touchdowns. The Steelers traded Bryant to Oakland prior to the 2018 season, but he played in just 8 games before getting suspended. From that point, Bryant has been all over the football landscape. He was in the Canadian Football League with the Toronto Argonauts and Edmonton Elks. He played this spring with the Vegas Vipers of the XFL. The Massachusetts Pirates of the Indoor Football League gave him a shot in 2021. He even played with the FCF Beasts of the Fan-Controlled Football League. Report: Steelers claim OL Tykeem Doss off waivers from Ravens. Shortly after the move to waive/injured cornerback Kalen Barnes, the Pittsburgh Steelers made another roster move Monday, landing offensive lineman Tykeem Doss off of waivers from the Baltimore Ravens. According to NFL insider Aaron Wilson, the Steelers were awarded Doss, who was waived by the Ravens Sunday. Doss was an undrafted free agent out of southern Mississippi in the 2023 NFL Draft. Doss measured in at 6,050, 378 pounds coming out of Southern Miss, recording 35-inch arms, 10 1/8-inch hands, and an 85.5-inch wingspan. The former Golden Eagles product recorded 28 reps on the bench at his pro day and added a 24-inch vertical and an 8.3 broad jump, while clocking a 5.54 40-yard dash and an 8.193 cone. Doss played 38 snaps in the preseason in 2023 for the Ravens, seeing all 35 snaps at left tackle. He graded out at a 46.4 overall from Pro Football Focus, including a 71.9 overall as a run blocker and a 13.8 as a pass blocker, allowing 5 pressures and 1 sack in 21 pass blocking reps so far this preseason with the Ravens. Doss played just 1 snap against the Eagles, lining up at left guard. Doss spent the entire 2023 season on the practice squad for the Ravens and was signed to a reserve/futures deal back in January. During his time in college, Doss played in 31 games for Southern Mississippi, starting 6 games at left guard in 2020 and 3 games at left tackle in 2021. He played in all 11 games in 2022, but it's unclear what position he started at. With rookie Troy Fautanu out for the next 2 weeks, the Steelers could use another body along the offensive line. Doss will have an opportunity to come in and compete and potentially battle for a practice squad role. Steelers' financial offer to Brandon Aiyuk reported. Arthur Smith discusses team's WR position. Albert Breer of SI.com has the Pittsburgh Steelers contract offer to San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. The Steelers' offer was around the $28 million per year that several other receivers, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, got this offseason, Breer reported Monday. Keep in mind that Aiyuk is currently under contract for the 2024 season with the 49ers for $14.1 million on the 5th-year option of his entry-level deal. Should the Steelers get Aiyuk to agree to a palatable contract extension, they'll also have to work out a compensation package for the Niners so that they'd be willing to let the second-team All-Pro leave San Francisco. They're stable, with a Super Bowl-winning head coach, but haven't won at the level the Niners have of late, and don't have geographic appeal, either, Breer said of the Steelers. Fair enough. But Aiyuk has suggested that he'd be interested in playing for Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. And whatever geographic shortcomings the Steelers may have when it comes to tempting the native of Reno, Nevada, the other 2 teams apparently interested in offering him similar money to leave San Francisco are both in the northeastern part of the country. One is the Cleveland Browns. The other is the New England Patriots. The Patriots offered a deal in excess of $30 million per year. New England also has a rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, and sits on the other side of the country from where Aiyuk grew up, went to college, Arizona State, and has played as a pro, Breer continued. So San Francisco, which last moved in the contract negotiation back in May, is in position to strike a deal with a guy they'd like to pair over the long term with Purdy, George Kittle in his 30s, and the football odometer starting to run high on the bodies of Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. Things have gotten quiet the past couple of days, an indication that the Niners have finally moved off the spot they occupied in May. In June, it was reported that the Niners had offered between $26 million to $28 million per year annually to extend Aiyuk's contract. Given the never-ending rumors about the Steelers' interest in the receiver, on Monday I asked defensive coordinator Arthur Smith if he thought his unit had enough firepower at the wide receiver position as currently constructed. "All I'm worried about is who I have," Smith said. "Everybody would love to have the perfect roster, but that just doesn't exist. So you just deal with what the reality is. Whoever they bring in here, it's our job, my job, more importantly, to worry about the guys who are here and put them in the best spots." One spot where the Steelers are far from perfect is at wide receiver. Van Jefferson may be a quality number 3 receiver. But he isn't a number 2. And he certainly isn't a number 1 if George Pickens gets hurt. Aiyuk would be a good fit in that regard. Yet, some Steelers fans and media types don't want Aiyuk at that price. They push back on the idea of trading for him by insisting that Smith's offense doesn't require much out of a second wide receiver. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.